I'm Nadj and Nicole.
And I'm Jay straight here for you, talking about your new shirt. What do you think about it? No.
He looks like a bootleg Steve Irwin.
Yo, did you see Crocodile Dundee?
Yes, I did.
It's a great movie. I'm gonna get off subjects right from the jump. I'm gonna talk about nothing that we're actually supposed to talk about.
Between the beard, his hair, and the cargo shirt, I really do feel like he's about to pull a tarantula
Good day, mate.
from a bag.
J Street, yeah? Good day. Yeah?
I told him the other day that the reason why he has so many accents and personalities is because he don't know who he is.
Yeah.
But he know how everybody else sound and what they do.
Yeah.
This is an added one.
I have no knowledge of self. It's all about everybody else's stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
Today is, which is perfect, National Goof Off Day.
Listen, that's what we do
That's
every
what we do every day.
Twice a week, y'all
Okay.
get to see us goof off, and that's what we do. But that's what makes it fun.
Yes.
We're having a good time, 1,000%. you
Yes.
know? That's what we do best.
True, very true.
At least me.
Besides looking good. And today is also National Water Day.
Listen,
So drink up.
so how do you feel about water?
I love water.
But there are
Water-
people who say, I don't drink water.
Water is refreshing.
I don't like how water tastes.
Then they must have a lot of headaches. They must not be regulated. They must not smell very good.
I will say that I've ranted about this on Facebook. Is I always if I'm at home and I drink a lot of water at home, I always put a pretty big squeeze of organic lemon juice. But it's like it doesn't taste right without it.
If you have not gone to Jay's Facebook and watched his rant about the one time that Trader Joe's did not have organic lemons,
it was one of
you
the
need to
biggest
go
first
watch
world
that.
problems that I've ever had. You know, like there are levels. There are just certain things. No, it was.
Bottom line, Trader Joe's.
Yeah. Can y'all please save some of the organic lemons for me? Yeah.
Changing directions. There was a shooting, another one. It seems like that's the new thing now in America.
In America, we have a real problem
We do.
with gun violence. And I know that they're right now in the process of, quote unquote, sort of determining his motive. And that matters. It matters, obviously. And it matters more if his motivation was strictly out of hate for Asian people or any specific group of people. And I'm very on the fence about discussing this issue in depth, but I think that we should break it down as much as possible. But like, it's almost like, on one hand, because all of the victims were Asian, it automatically, obviously, brings tremendous concern in the Asian community.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's something that could have happened to any group of people or to a wide variety of people considering what happened. So I don't want to speak for Asians, you know, and try to even begin to try to do that. It's just my main thought is just like, why does this keep happening here, you know?
You mentioned the motive.
Yeah.
So Uncle Joe Biden said, whatever the motivation here, I know Asian Americans, they are very concerned because, you know, I have been speaking about the brutality against Asian Americans, and it's troubling.
Yeah.
And throughout the article, they talked about the recent wave of attacks against Asian Americans since the start of COVID. And I'm just going to put it out there. Dump Trump, when he called it the China virus, like, I think that's really when things got really ugly for our Asian Americans.
Yeah, you know, an interesting thing, and by no means am I trying to like say who has it worse. It's just like everyone has their
you
struggles.
Can't compare. Let's not compare.
No, by no means.
Right.
But one thing that I was very surprised, and that's probably because of my own ignorance. Certainly, it is actually because of my own ignorance. But I remember within the past year, I made a post on Facebook about the fact that I had only had one black teacher. No, I had no black teachers up until I got to college. And that sparked a whole discussion about what it was like when I was in high school. And a lot of my classmates, quite a few, I was surprised, got involved with the conversation. And it turned into a realization for me that I was unaware of, that the Asians that were in my class really had to deal with some overt, blatant racism that was, I can speak personally, worse than what I did at school.
Yeah.
And it kind of shocked me, and maybe it shouldn't have, And again, I don't want to speak for that population, but in the least, I was shocked that like they would like, you know, there would be specific comments that were made to them, and I'd be like, wow.
Yeah.
Like if because you know, I don't want to say culturally, but like for me, my gut response to someone insulting me, and I'm older now, so it's not, and I got a family, but like you catch me in my 20s and you say something that is just blatantly racist to me,
Right.
I might go right to 10. And
Right.
those kids just absorb that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they still feel that today. And my main thing is just empathy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I guess, you know, as we're just talking about it right now, one of my thoughts is like, you know, you want to, as much as you can, try to build from these tragedies and learn something from it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, this is an opportunity in my brain for there just to be a little bit more unity and understanding of what it is to be a minority
Right.
in America, because everyone's
Right.
experience is different and unique, but these things I feel like could decrease over time by having these discussions and just kind of listening. Be like, dang, I never know that happened to you.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first to admit, I don't want to, you know, we could talk about this for a long time, quite frankly, but I will readily admit that I have said things in the past that I shouldn't have said about other groups of people. And
No one's perfect. We're all human.
and it's an opportunity for us all to be a little bit more sensitive.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I have Asian friends. I remember a specific friend from high school who, he introduced me to Bob Marley. You know what I mean? We rode around in his Dodge Intrepid, and he would play the Bob Marley box set, and all I know is he's my friend.
The
so
Bob Marley box.
yeah. Freedom songs. There were 4 CDs. I could still sing that whole 4 CD album from beginning to end, and it was given to me by my buddy Albert. I'm not gonna name his last name, but he knows who he is, and you know, just based on that, I have a sensitivity in me for Asian culture because
Yeah.
I know his culture, and plus he was my friend.
Yeah.
So if you disrespect him, just you know, like I'm not trying to go there, but like that's
get it.
my gut reaction to anything, and I'm naturally
Right.
kind of protective. So it's like,
And as a minority, we're sensitive already because
Yes.
we know what it feels like. We
Yeah.
wake up with this defense.
Yes.
You know? So I just want to make a correction. It was 3 spas. So
oh wow,
it was Young's Asian Massage in Ackworth, Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
then Gold Massage Spa in Atlanta, and then moments later, Aromatherapy Spa in Atlanta. So he moved fast.
he moved fast, and he moved fast. And another thought, I can keep talking, is despite all of the motives, and we'll figure all of that out, and we'll we'll get through those issues. I think it's very clear that he had or has a real psychological disorder, and you know,
He's a terrorist.
there are a lot of different ways that these problems will get solved, but I feel like, you know, some of these things, it's like people knew that person had some issues.
We all know.
You know.
We know that one person that
and-
you just got.
And here the thing, but the thing is, we have to really, you know, maybe, and I'm not trying to be sensitive to the perpetrator, but someone should have been able to say, yo, what's going on with you?
Right.
Like, what's up with you? Like, let's
Right.
talk, because you clearly have some issues.
Yeah.
So let's work through those issues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not have you feel how you feel. I don't know if it was an issue because he has a super sex addiction or if it was just Asian hate. I don't know. But it's almost beside the point. It's not beside the point, but the root of it is like, what is wrong with you?
Right, where did this come from?
Where did this come from,
Like,
bro?
And as we're wrapping this up, I just want to mention that one of the police officers during the press conference had said something.
Oh, I know. Go. Sorry.
Said something about he was having a bad day.
Yeah.
Can we just have a moment of silence for that?
No, because
Because I just that
it's absolutely not only insensitive, but it's
It's-
just absurd
it's
and
dumb.
offensive.
It's dumb.
It's offensive.
Sir, you are dumb. You dumb. But sending our condolences to all of the families affected by this shooting. I can't even imagine what, the community and what their families and friends are going through. So here at Good Morning Wilmington and at DETV, we're sending you our love and our support.
That's all,
Yeah.
We're just here to it's a terrible thing. We offer condolences, and we're sorry that had to happen to anyone.
Right.
Period.
So going into COVID, so Delaware, as you guys know now, just to reiterate, the vaccine supply is increasing. Who is eligible? So Delawareans 50 and older, and Delawareans 16 and older with medical conditions are able to start getting their vaccine scheduled. So make sure that you're checking. I think when I spoke to my mom, she said that a lot of them were booked up.
Yeah.
And I think people 50 and older could only get them at pharmacies. So call around. There are several throughout the state. So do your due diligence and do your research and call and see if you can get an appointment as soon as possible. Because the faster you guys get these vaccinations, the faster we can go outside and play.
Listen, man, you all know, you'll see the video, I have gone through the vaccination process.
His arm fell off and I sewed it back on.
It fell off, because the guy came in, he was like, yeah, and I was like, ugh, no, and it fell off, but.
You're so dramatic.
You said it fell off.
I know, but you didn't have to listen to sound effects. Yeah.
But here I am, I'm fine, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He about to go play, y'all. He about to go outside and play. And I'm gonna be looking from the window like.
Yeah. Not just play. Let me say this. Let me say this very clearly. I'm even clap my hands. I'm trying not to go there and be that person, but I am blessed to have been able to get the vaccine at the time when I did.
Yeah.
I am blessed. My family is blessed because we were able to get access to it. I don't have to worry about my mom and dad right now. I don't have to worry about my in-laws and that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Millions of people have died over the past year over something that came about that's new, okay? They wouldn't have died in the event that we didn't have COVID-19, and I have been gifted, with the ability to prevent it. So thank you to the scientists and everyone who made an effort to create this thing, and I hope and genuinely pray that whoever else wants access to it can get it, because it's a big deal.
He is so intense.
Yeah, because it's a big deal. I really won't. Listen, I'm appreciative because it's a huge burden that's off of my mind for the time being. You understand?
All right, Pastor Jay.
No, it's not.
Thank you for your testimony.
Listen, I can sleep better at night on
it is
several
well
different
within
levels.
your soul. Oh, Lord. Make sure you guys are staying safe and wearing your mask. Delaware is ready or trying to legalize that Mary Jane.
Legalize it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Lawmakers on Thursday filed the latest bill to legalize marijuana in Delaware. House Bill 150 by Representative Ed Osienski would let people 21 and older buy up to an ounce of weed from a licensed. Can I say that? No,
it doesn't even feel right saying it, right?
An ounce of marijuana from a licensed seller. The bill would tax the plant at 15%, which is lower than most of the states that have already legalized marijuana.
Colorado has made a tremendous amount of money as a state by selling marijuana. I, for one, do not indulge in the use of cannabis because...
I've never been to a happy place.
So I don't. But I welcome anyone who likes to do it because...
But if I had cancer...
Okay, gotcha.
I would indulge.
And listen, I am sure as a person who consumes alcohol, I know that there are people who have died from alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anyone documented for smoking themselves to death. It's marijuana, just marijuana. There's no reason it shouldn't be legal, And all of this, the incredible rant's about to come out.
Oh my God! Sam is over there ready to die.
The incredible rant's about to come out. But listen, all them boys that are doing all that time for selling marijuana.
That's all. Yes.
There we go.
Exactly.
That's all.
That's my
all.
next point.
Free
if
the-
we're
free-
going to legalize it,
Free our men. So, legalize it, number one. And number two, everybody that you put in jail over a weed charge, please let them out because it's ridiculous. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest. Today, I feel he's like a little intense today,
You know?
and I was not ready for all this.
That vaccine done freed my spurt.
I just want y'all to know, like, I am not okay. But yes, please put something into law while y'all working on this bill to make this plant legal all of a sudden. Put something in place to free our men and women who have been affected and arrested and convicted because
Meanwhile, somebody else is getting filthy rich.
Right. This is a problem. So let's handle that.
Maybe give them the ability to sell legally. You know what I mean? Maybe help them get set up with.
Obviously, they know about it.
They know about it a lot more than somebody. Never mind. So, yep.
Oh, God.
Listen.
Delaware restaurants a year later are reflecting on what they've been going through. So a few restaurants that I can name that have had to close their doors because of COVID are Scrumptious in Trolley Square.
Yep, been there.
Nile Restaurant
Not sure of them.
in Hocassin. De La Cure
Yeah.
Cafe.
Yep, that was a great spot.
JB Dawson's. Oh, God, I
That was a
love
great spot.
JB Dawson.
Their ribs.
Yeah. And Touch of Italy on Concord Pike, and Chef's Haven Cafe in Independence Mall.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It is.
Can I rant again?
No.
You know any more rants?
Unless you do it like calm, because I'm a little. I feel as though this is my opinion that if you are going to tell a business that they can't operate, it is then the government's job to ensure that they can get through the time that you say they can't work. Yeah.
That, my friends, is what the stimulus really should, you know what I mean? Not the only thing, but that is one of the most important places where it could be used. Those businesses should not have had to close down.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there, when we first got the stimulus last year, wasn't there like a bunch of big corporations that benefited from it that made it harder for small businesses to benefit?
The little guy. It's
So-
always the little guy who takes the bad end of things. So
Yeah. So we're saying this now to tell you guys out there, tip.
Yeah.
Support local businesses. I know we got a bunch of good chains, but if you know a mom and pop or
Yes.
you're near a mom and pop,
Listen, can I shout out
patronize
some?
them.
Can we shout out places?
Milk and Honey.
You know what I'm saying? Pizzeria Metro.
Yeah.
You know?
Their
Green Box,
Caesar salad with the
Drop Squad.
anchovies.
Stitch House.
Yes.
Lafia, Bardea. I'll keep going. You know, all the places, all the mom and pop shops, all the small
They
businesses.
got all the food.
They got all the good food and all the
Yes.
good people and all the
Yes.
good vibes. You know,
Yes.
I'm glad you can go to TGI Fridays on 13, but yo, what about the guy that we
We
don't
got other
know?
spots.
We got other spots.
Yeah.
you know?
So support our peoples, because you know they need us just like we need them. Delaware Senate approves $15 minimum wage. I saw Sarah McBride post about this.
Okay, I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
Yep.
The 6-person Senate Labor Committee approved the bill in a 4-2 vote.
It's funny because we gotta move on. But all these things you bring up, I want to go straight to 10 on ranting but I'm glad that it's coming, and I hope it comes, and I'll stop there.
Well, we ain't got time. And
All right,
Sam,
tell them who we have on today. Sorry.
You do it since you hype.
Okay, so on today's show, we will, number one, we will be seeing the band,
Chance, my friend.
Yes, talk about your friends, the band.
I'm in the band Chance. I'm on their hit single,
Yes,
their
yes.
title track, Mellow Lane.
Yep, absolutely.
Getting my hippie vibes on.
Yes.
So they'll be performing.
And then we're gonna go see Matt Johnson with Rodney Tennis. You know, you get to see us swat the tennis racket and learn tennis for the first time. And then we're
My
gonna have...
backhand was.
Yeah, and Matt Murphy.
And Matt Murphy talking about the
Blue coats.
They was flued out, and now they flued back in.
They're out of the bubble.
They out the bubble. That was a big bubble. I can't help but visualize an actual bubble. I don't know what that's about, but
And on that note, we'll see you back in a second.
What's up? It's your girl Desi, and now it's time for the good news. Now listen, this morning I'm giving my Mr. Rogers vibe. I hope that you're feeling it. That was one of my favorite shows back in the day. Listen guys, remember to follow us at DETVCH.com because you may hear your quote. Today's quote is coming from Breezy215 on Instagram, and it says, "Knowledge speaks, but wisdom listens." Once again, knowledge speaks, but wisdom listens. You ever wonder why you have two ears and one mouth? Yeah, it's because knowledge speaks, but wisdom listens. All right, you guys, listen. You want to hear your quote? Follow DETVCH.com.
Thank you, Desi, for the good news. And now we're on to Nadj's Sports Talk. So we have friend to the show, the play-by-play announcer, Matt Murphy for the Delaware Bluecoats. Hello, Matt.
Hello, it's an honor to be on Nadj's Sports Talk. I love that.
He knows. He knows.
Welcome back from the bubble.
Yeah, it's good to be back. A successful season for the Delaware Bluecoats. Made the playoffs. I think they really represented Delaware quite well, represented the Sixers organization quite well, and it all went down in the bubble down in Disney World.
Right, and not just well, not just in the playoffs, but you guys got to the finals.
Yes.
Yeah, so first playoff appearance led to first playoff win. They won 2 games, took down the top seed in the second round, and ultimately came up short, but it was a great run to the NBA G League finals. We had a lot of people behind us, and it would have been nice to bring home the championship, but that's what we have the future to look forward to, and maybe bringing home a championship in front of the fans at the Chase Fieldhouse in Wilmington is what is destined to be after all.
I love it. I love the
Yes.
enthusiasm. It's fantastic.
So this was the first time that a G League team from Delaware made it to the playoffs.
Correct. So the 8-year history of the Delaware Bluecoats franchise, which started as the 87ers back in 2013, first playoff appearance. Now, last year, Connor Johnson, the head coach, GM Matt Lilly, had the team positioned to make the playoffs before the G League season was ultimately canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But to get back this year, to go to the bubble and to get in the playoffs and play and win games, very successful run, to say the least.
And we, us here at DETV, we got to stream it.
Yes.
We got to broadcast it. So that was awesome to be a part of that.
Yeah, I can't say enough about how great and how much DETV added to the value of our Bluecoats broadcast this year. Obviously, it's a partnership that goes back multiple seasons, but this year, to do it from the bubble, to be one of only a few teams that even had a local broadcast of the games. So they would bring me in from the bubble. We'd have a great pregame, halftime, and postgame show right here on DETV with Dee Lynam and Jason Crafton, who did a phenomenal job in the studio. I looked forward to that each and every game, talking with them before the game and during the game about how it was going. I can't say enough about how successful that was. It really got a lot of praise from around the league, because not only were we one of a few teams that did something like that in terms of the game broadcast, we were the only team that did the extra stuff around it with pregame and halftime and postgame coverage. It was top notch.
That's
Well,
cool.
coming out of Delaware, we do big things here.
Wait, so tell us what it was like in the bubble. Try to get us to understand what your
Yes.
day looked like and what the games and all that stuff looked like inside of the bubble.
The bubble.
The league did a great job with it, and it was because I guess the NBA had already done it over the summer. So there was kind of a blueprint to follow. I will say that the days kind of blended into each other a little bit, because you had to get tested every day, and your time for testing would vary based on when your game was or your team's game was. And there were a lot of games. So they played in total 18 games when you count the playoffs in about a month, a little over a month. So you were pretty much playing every day, every other day at minimum. So there wasn't much time to do anything else. Testing was a regular part of the day. There was a meal room, and you'd have, they mixed up the food every single day, 3 meals a day, that type of thing. In terms of extracurriculars, our guys and our staff kind of took to some board games a little bit. There was a lot of chess being played. There was a lot of Monopoly and other things like that. And then outside, they had some pickleball courts set up, which is a big thing for me.
What is that? Tell us. What is that?
Pickleball?
It's kind of like, you should definitely look it up and you should try it sometime. It's like a tennis net on a smaller court. And I call it like a big version of ping pong. So you have a paddle and a wiffle ball, and you're hitting it over a tennis net on like a quarter of a tennis court. So check it out for sure. We played a lot of that. Our coaching staff, Connor Johnson, and really teams all around the league were into pickleball outside.
Okay.
That's
So
hilarious.
I just want to flex a little bit. We saw Paul Reed have a great season. What are his chances of being the G League MVP?
That is a fantastic question. Great stuff. Paul Reed is a Sixers player on a two-way contract, and he tore it up. In my opinion, he was the best player, the most outstanding player, the most valuable player in the G League bubble. Speaking as the Blue Coats broadcaster, so obviously a little bit of bias there. We should find out any day if he indeed wins the MVP award. But he averaged a double-double, and he was just showing off skills that the minutes weren't there for such a good Sixers team so far in his rookie year, which is why the G League is so valuable, and the Sixers use it really well. He was able to come down, play a ton, shoot over 15 shots a game or whatever he needed to do, and make a lot of them. So he was the engine of this Blue Coats team. He's a tall guy at 6'9" that can do a lot on the court. He was shooting threes. He made 24 threes, which is something he didn't show as much in college, but the G League is all about development, and he really developed his game. The coaching staff did a great job with him. I know the Sixers coaching staff was checking in often, and they were really impressed with Paul Reed as well. So TBD on MVP, but he certainly did all he could to make that happen.
You actually make a good point and raise a good question. So can you kind of explain to everyone sort of what the G League's role is in relationship to the NBA, and kind of give people an understanding, like, this is why you should watch, you know what I mean? Like, this is why we're special. Could you talk about that?
Absolutely. Something we talk about a lot is the stars of tomorrow playing in the G League. And that looks different for every player, but the rosters in the G League are made up of not only players on standard G League contracts who are hoping to realize their dreams, but every team has a handful of players who are on an NBA roster that are either on a two-way contract, which allows them to come play with the Blue Coats and other G League teams around the league. There's also players who are on standard NBA contracts that maybe they're not in the rotation in the NBA and their organization wants them to play more, who will be assigned to the G League. So an example of that is Isaiah Joe played the last 5 games of the season with the Blue Coats. He and Paul Reed were both second-round picks of the Sixers. So the G League's place in all of this is to give those guys some extended run on the court that they might not get in the NBA. So it is incredibly valuable. It's picking up steam every single year. You see more NBA draft picks playing in the G League each game. So you can't beat it. I mean, when we get back to Delaware, which we can't wait to do next season, to be able to see a handful of guys who are going to be in the NBA up close and personal, it's just a great deal all around. And we saw it right when we got back. Paul Reed, Isaiah Joe, and Rajon Tucker, 3 Sixers players, were actually the bell ringers before a Sixers game in front of, now that they have fans back, they were greeted and welcomed back for their success in the G League bubble by the Sixers fans, and they're right there on the bench for the rest of the season with the Sixers.
That's cool.
Wow.
So as much as you can, tell us what is kind of, what do you think next year will look like in terms of
Season.
Yeah, good
Next
point.
season.
She's a sports expert. Look
This
at
not
you.
just sports
No,
talks.
you're right. She's right. I'll take that. What is next season going to look like?
In front of our fans. More info, obviously, as we get closer to the fall. But we want to make this the summer of the Blue Coats and build off of that success that we just had in the bubble. And like I said, maybe a championship is destined for when we are back in front of our fans at the field house. And when we say the summer of the Blue Coats, it's like the community is a big part of everything we do. So when it's safe to do so, just getting out there and making an impact through basketball and through togetherness and all those types of things. The roster might look a little bit different, but it always does. And the bottom line is developing players, winning games, both important, but also having a connection with the community. So I think next season looks hopefully like it did this year on the court with the added connectivity back in Delaware as well.
Matt, thank you so much again. Is there any other information that you want to let us know before you get out of here?
I think I'm good. I just want to give another shout out to DETV. We're thrilled to have our games on DETV. It was a great season. Can't wait for the future with DETV. And shout out again to D. Lynham and Jason Crafton and Dennis Pritchett, the whole DETV crew, for what a successful run we had on the air this season.
Thank you so much, Matt, for coming and talking to us about the Blue Coats and joining us on Nadj's Sports Talk. And we're now going to go play some tennis with Matt Johnson at the Del Castle Tennis Stop. And then we will have Chance, my new band, come perform their title track, Mellow Lane. See you soon.
Well, don't I look completely ridiculous? But yes, today is the day that I get my second shot, and honestly, I'm not looking forward to it. I slept well last night. Been taking care of myself to the extreme all week because I'm just trying to lower any chances of me having any kind of bad result. And, you know, I know it won't be that bad, but I don't want to have a fever. I don't want to have the poops. And I just want to, you know, get on back out in these streets. But let's see how today goes.
All right, everybody, I'm on my way to Dover to get this second dosage, and I am looking forward to getting it over with in several different ways, but I'm certainly appreciative of the fact that I have access to it at this point. You know what I mean? So I'm on my way. Let's get it done, and hopefully I will be back to 100% very soon. All right, party people, I am here. It's time to get this second one. I've been repeating myself at this point, but I'm ready to go. I got my coffee in my system. I'm gonna get some food later, but it's time for round 2. Let's get it.
All right, everybody, here we go. Getting it done. My terrible tattoo. Not too worried about this part, just worried about 8 hours from now. And there we go. Yep. And that's it, guys. I'll follow up and let you know how we're doing.
All right, y'all, that's a wrap. I got my second shot. I feel blessed to have been able to get it, especially as early as I did, the bottom line. So if anything goes, you know, if I have any discomfort or any symptoms, you know, over the next 12 hours, I'll do another video and let you guys know. But I feel great. I'm just excited to be a part of this, and for honestly the hope that, you know, 2 weeks from now I can get back to being a lot more normal and at least not be so worried about my own health. But, you know, honestly, this is a blessing, and I'm glad that I got it done, and thank you. All right, everybody, we are here today with Matt Johnson of Rodney Street Tennis. And Mr. Johnson, tell us about this beautiful facility that we're in and what's going on here.
All right. Well, right now we're at the Del Castle Tennis Center. Our organization, Rodney Street Tennis and Tutoring Association, we utilize this space in the winter because we can't have the kids outside in the cold. So we utilize this space in the winter. And then our home court is the Jewish Community Center, where we have our offices and we have tennis courts there. So in the spring and summer and fall, we're at that particular site to provide tennis for children from 5 to 18. And then we also do adult lessons, private lessons, The whole premise behind Rodney Street is to give people of, social disadvantaged individuals a chance to learn, a chance to be a part of tennis that generally wouldn't have the means to go to country clubs, to give, to be able to be in spaces that do a lot of tennis. And so the whole premise of Rodney Street was to do, to bring tennis to a population that generally would not participate with tennis.
Now, how long has the organization been in existence?
Since 1978.
Oh, for a long time.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, since 1978. Rodney Street. It used to be at Rodney Street, on the Rodney Street courts. That's where it was developed at.
I know that you obviously guys, you do tennis here, but you were talking about the programming that you have going on here.
So what we do not just tennis, like as the title of our organization, Rodney Street Tennis and Tutoring Association, we do educational programming as well.
Right.
So with the educational programming, right now we're doing STEAM programming.
Okay.
So we have a portion of the kids participating in tennis, and a portion of the kids will be up here doing STEAM projects. Right now we're doing coding. So the kids are learning how to do robots and to create robots and create movements for robots.
That's beautiful. So in a lot of different ways, you're kind of closing that disparity gap, not only with tennis, but with programming.
Yes, yes.
So, are you from Wilmington?
No, I'm from Brooklyn, New York originally.
Oh, we can't air that.
No.
So what brought you here?
I've been here since you know what? I used to live in the tenements, and I used to live in projects. And so what brought me here was being able to afford grass. being able to get that dream where you just think, it's to get that dream of a house, white picket fence, the whole thing. And I grew up not thinking that can happen. And growing up where I grew up, it's not necessarily something you think you can do. Especially coming from a social disadvantaged community. So when I realized I could do it, I did do it. So, and I also wanted to move here because it's a great place for family. It's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place for children. And that was the major thing was I said, when my son gets 6, I'm out. I've been in youth service for 30 years. I've worked at Boys and Girls Clubs. In New York, I started in Brooklyn at a Boys and Girls Club. I was a director there, and then I moved here, and I was working at the Route 40 Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, okay.
So I did that, and then I ran group home facilities for a while, and it got mundane. So I got back into youth service.
So when you got here and you started working in the Route 40 Boys and Girls Club, what did you notice when you first got here about our children and our youth?
The one thing I noticed when I first got here was the difference in, okay, I'm from Brooklyn, right? So you only saw, people of color. You really, only people that were white to you were, it was policemen, teachers, cops, firemen. When I moved to Delaware, it was a melting pot. They say New Yorkers are a melting pot.
Now that's an interesting thing I've never heard before. Sorry, continue. I've never heard that.
They say New York is a melting pot. No, it's how you have different sections in a plate.
Yeah, a mixed salad.
In each, right. So each place has a place in in their plate with and it's sectioned off. You have those sectioned off plates. So in New York, it's like that, right? So you have pockets of communities. In Delaware, it's one pocket of community.
Yes.
I never really thought about it as a difference, but when you say it, that's really interesting.
So like my kids, went to school with all different nationalities, all different colors. In New York, they would have went to school with just people of color, for them unless you paid for them to go to a different school.
So when did tennis come into this mix?
Well, what it was? It was an opportunity afforded itself to me, and I was looking to move up in my professional realm. So I saw an ad and I just put it in. I didn't even put a cover letter. God blessed me. I was just one of them days where I was just, so, and I got a call from the board president asking me to come in for an interview. And one of the key things what they wanted to do was they looked at my background in community service. They looked at, I was able to grow organizations grassroots wise and be able to take them into a different realm. So that was the whole focus, not just being a tennis person, because I'm not a tennis person per se. You know, I can hit a ball over the net, but I'm not a tennis person per se. But I was able to, I'm able to understand and put pieces where they need to be. I have great staff. You know, I have a great team. I wouldn't even say staff, I have a great team. And without them, I would not be able to do or be where we are. So the team is just phenomenal.
One more quick question before we actually get to play tennis.
Okay.
Just if you can, give us a quick rundown of what the day looks like for a child who comes in. So from when they walk in and then when they leave, what's the day look like?
When they walk in, like generally right now, kids would walk in and generally come, some kids would go downstairs and start with tennis, and some kids would come up and participate in our coding program. Today, our education director's not here. She's off today, so I couldn't show you that portion of the program. So right now, so after that, then what they would do is they would switch. So there'd be an hour and a half of doing that, and then they would switch.
Well, thank you for, telling us about the program and bringing us here to this beautiful facility, and I look forward to actually getting to see the coding program as well.
I just want to let you know that spring programming is upon us. So spring and summer camp. So if you would like to participate in our spring programming, we offer scholarships. It's inexpensive, but we also offer scholarships. So RodneyStreetTennis.org, you can go on there and look up spring. It's right on our dashboard. Click on it, and please, I would implore everyone to participate in this program, to come out, try it. Your children will love it. Everybody can't play basketball, everybody can't play football, and everybody can't play baseball. And there are scholarship opportunities for everyone in this sport, and it's a great sport, and it's a lot of fun. And we also provide great educational support.
Brother Johnson, thank you again for having us here, and I guess now we'll just head downstairs and play a little tennis.
Thank you, Matt, for teaching us tennis. And now we have my friends CHVNCE here to perform their title track off their new EP, Mellow Lane. I'm so excited. Hayden, how are you?
How are you doing?
You're the lead?
Well. Doing well, yes.
Okay. So what inspired this project?
Mostly just kind of being stuck at home during the pandemic and kind of reminiscing on kind of my past, playing out, doing some tours, going out to California, and that kind of inspired most of the melodies and whatnot throughout the EP. Pretty much getting me through the pandemic or that era of that.
Okay. So how long have you been performing out?
It's been, as CHVNCE, it's been about going on 6 years. But I've played in past groups for probably the last 10 years or so.
Okay. Okay. So can you introduce us to everyone?
Yeah. So I'm Hayden. This is Austin, the guitar. Eric on the bass. Got Ben on the drums. And we have Connor on keys.
And what inspired the name CHVNCE?
It's my last name, but the inversion of the A is a V. There's plenty of artists out there that use the name Chance, Chance the Rapper, or other names, for example. So I felt that would be a way of people looking it up and not being lost in a line of a bunch of names.
Okay. All right. Well, we're excited to hear you, and we're so thankful that you're here to play Mellow Lane.
got there so fast? Do you wonder how you look from the outside looking in? Oh, do I wonder, is this real or a dream? I heard the thunder, but I hear no scream from you. Just another night on Mellow Lane, sideways on Mellow Lane, Mellow Lane. Cannot say her name. Do you ever think these memories will fade away? Do you ever think this life is a game? I thought the color could have sworn was the same. Just another night on Mellow Lane, sideways on Mellow Lane, Mellow Lane. Mellow Lane. Mellow Lane.
Thank you, Chance. You guys are awesome. I'm so proud to be a part of this band. But yeah, go stream their music, Mellow Lane. Their EP is out. They're awesome band. Mm-hmm. What do you got going on this week, Jay?
This week, I don't have any like specific.
You're gonna wrangle some crocodiles.
I might go out and get there and get me some. I don't know. I don't even have the energy anymore to go back and bring back Jagadial Dundee or whatever the heck you.
Jagadial Dundee. Oh my God! You know whose hat you need? Jahidi's hat.
Yes. That's exactly. But no, the only thing that I kind of am in the process of now is writing and practicing as a musician. So when I get home, a lot of what I'm doing is still planning and trying to sort of time out how things are going to open back up. You know what I mean? I'm still, like, I have a few performances this summer.
What about that band, CTO?
Yeah, so even that, my wedding band, like, we're not probably gonna really get rocking and rolling again until the fall. But again, I'm just trying to plan and kind of create right now. I have a few performances, but that's all just to kind of keep myself comfortable on stage, you know what I mean? So it's all writing and trying to improve my skill set as a musician, you know? And it's kind of coming along, which is kind of cool. Like, there's nothing more fun to me than when you work at something and you see the growth, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
What about you?
So I have some shows planned. I'm working on my album. And thinking about last year around this time, I think we had planned on going on vacation, a family vacation, because the year before we had gone to Williamsburg, Virginia, and now then we couldn't. So this year I would like to go on some type of mini vacay with the kids.
With the kids, let me tell you what me and Lisa have been planning already, and my parents have been halfway notified, but because my kids are difficult.
Parents.
Listen, we are trying to coordinate basically at least a weekend between my parents and her parents and all that, so that we can go away without the kids. And I might drive all the way to Canada and like leave the whole, if they let me in, we're both vaccinated, you know what I'm saying? We out.
So look for Jay in a town near you.
Look for me
at a
in
bar,
Toronto or Montreal,
passed out.
just eating as much French food and just stuffing myself ridiculously, and escaping up north.
He's about to drop his kids off at the front door, ring the doorbell,
Bye.
and dip.
Oh well, you know what I'm saying?
No, I like taking my kids on vacation because when I was a kid, my parents took us.
You be a great parent. I am going to escape. They have been keeping me. Whatever. I love my children more than anything on this planet, but mommy and daddy need a break, and we're going to find one. It might be, I would love to get all the way to Canada, but
He's
we'll
still
see.
talking about this Canada. Canada
I
don't
love
want
that
you.
place. I've been there before. I love that
Canada
place.
don't want
Montreal
you.
is one of my favorite places on the whole planet. It's
Look
a
at
wonderful
you,
city.
cultured bug.
Oh, listen. I'm definitely a bug, though.
Well, we hope that you guys are still staying safe. I know that the vaccines are amping up, and I know that outside is opening back up, but we're going to continue to reiterate to wear your mask, social distance. Yeah, even with his vaccine, he still wears his mask. Yeah. So you guys be smart, okay?
Do the right thing. You know that song?
That's no, it.
Now you want to see somebody. Now that is how you date yourself. Do the right thing. Anyway. Sorry.
Wow. Thank you for watching. We love you. We'll see you on Wednesday for our live. Make sure y'all come talk in the comments. We like interacting.
We do like interacting.
No trolling, because I will call you out.
Unless it's funny. that could be funny. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
make fun of me. I'm here for
We love you. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.
Good night.